This team hasn't been a big red machine in a very long time. Will this season be the one? You are the one I am talking to. Hey there, I'm Lauren Shahadi. We are taking you around the world of baseball, one team at a time, leading up to the start of the baseball season. We're talking Cincinnati today. They're coming off of their 8th straight losing season. Last year, they decided to go the way of youth, cutting ties with the likes of Ken Griffey Jr. and Adam Dunn, making room for Jay Bruce and Edinson Volquez. Was it a good move? Are they going to make big moves? Scott Miller has all the answers.
Thanks. We're down in Sarasota, Florida with the Cincinnati Reds today, a Cincinnati Reds team that is under construction, so to speak, after a long slog, 8 consecutive sub-500 seasons. It's the longest such streak of losing seasons for the Cincinnati Reds since they lost for 11 consecutive years between 1945 and 1955. They do not want to approach that streak any closer, so among other things, the key with the Reds this season, they've gotten away from the old style of big sluggers, and they're looking at speed and defense. They've changed some things. That began last year with the trades last season of Ken Griffey Jr. and Adam Dunn. And now what they're doing is emphasizing the little things. Instead of let's win it with the 3-run homer, let's steal some bases, let's hit to the right spot, let's move runners over. As Dusty Baker, the team manager, said, hey, the old way wasn't working. What are we going to do? Keep trying that? So with that, they've got center fielder Willie Tavares among other changes, but he's a key one. They're looking for 70 steals from him. That might be a bit much, but if he can steal some bags like he has in the past, that's going to help the Reds. It's going to set the tone. There's several position battles going, several guys, I should say, battling for the left field slot. Left field and the 5th starter are the two areas that Baker's watching here this spring. Starting in left field, right now, if the season were to open, probably Jerry Hairston Jr. and a rookie named Chris Dickerson would be the two guys in left field. But they've collected all kinds of names as they're looking for the perfect guys to help with this speed and defense style of play this year. They brought in some old veterans that have had chances with other teams, including Jock Jones, released from Detroit last season, Johnny Gomes, whose days in Tampa Bay are finished, Darrell Ward, Lance Nix, the old Texas Ranger. The list goes on and on and on. So by the end of the spring, theoretically, they're going to have that whittled down. The other item of interest is the 5th starter spot. MICAH OWINGS, who started last season in Arizona's rotation, he's the leader right now, probably on paper, to follow the guys like Edinson Volquez, Johnny Cueto, Aaron Harang in the rotation. Now, Owings is the leader, but they've got Homer Bailey in the wings. He's a hot prospect. He's got great stuff, has not been able to harness it yet. In his first exhibition season outing this season, the Reds were quite impressed. How he progresses will be something to watch. Nick Massett is another prospect in there in the 5th starter spot. Biggest additions for this team, as we mentioned, Willie Tavares in center field, and also catcher Ramon Hernandez, acquired from the Baltimore Orioles over the winter for Ryan Friel, who used to be Cincinnati's super utility man, played just about everywhere. Hernandez will give them a bigger bat behind the plate. Probably they're going to get more offensive production out of the catching position than they have the past few seasons. Lefty reliever Arthur Rhodes also slots into the bullpen. This is a team you're going to see some young guys. They brought up a couple of their best prospects last season, center fielder Jay Bruce and first baseman Joey VOTTO, who ended up finishing 2nd in the National League Rookie of the Year race behind the Chicago Cubs' Giovanni Soto. VOTTO is a big hitter. He helps compensate for the home runs lost when they traded Adam Dunn and even Ken Griffey Jr. Right-handed pitcher Darrell Thompson is waiting in the wings as well. Core contributors, some of these names you'll recognize. Aaron Harang is one of the most key players. Right-handed pitcher. 2 years ago, Harang went 16-6. Last season, 6-17. He's lost 25 pounds going into this season. Hasn't changed a lot else, he told me, but he's hoping the lost weight will maybe just allow him to move a little better and throw a little better. He doesn't think the extra weight hurt him last year as much as poor defense and just bad luck. The Reds will need him as well as Bronson Arroyo, Second baseman Brandon Phillips won a Gold Glove last year. Probably been playing Gold Glove caliber defense the last 2 or 3 years, but he's come into his own. His offensive numbers are down a little bit, but Dusty Baker's going to hit him 4th in the lineup. Brandon Phillips says, hey, I'm not a home run hitter, but he can do a lot at the plate, and that's one reason why Baker likes him in the cleanup slot. Also, third baseman Edwin Encarnacion. His numbers were down last year. What he would like to do now is use the middle of the field. That's what he's concentrating on this spring. Last year, he tried to pull too many pitches. He thought he got into some bad habits. This year, he's concentrating on that middle of the field, thinks that more balls are going to drop in and more good things are going to happen. One key area with the Reds to watch this spring, these guys are contributing more than their share to the World Baseball Classic. 6 key players will leave camp and participate in the World Baseball Classic, including 2/5 of the rotation. Edinson Volquez and Johnny Cueto both will pitch in the World Baseball Classic. Center fielder Willie Tavares will leave. Catcher Ramon Hernandez will play, and as will Joey Votto for Canada and Jerry Hairston Jr. Now, Jerry Hairston Jr. is going to play some shortstop for Mexico, even though he's here trying to win the left field job. Dusty Baker says that's okay, the splitting of the positions, because Alex Gonzalez will be the Reds shortstop this year, but Gonzalez missed all of last season with left knee surgery. They think he's going to be ready for opening day. If not, could it be a situation where Jerry Hairston Jr. ends up playing some shortstop? So we'll see how it all plays out. There's a lot to take care of here in the Reds camp this year. There's a lot of losing seasons they're trying to forget, and manager Dusty Baker has a good feel. Most people are healthy. Everybody's healthy, in fact, in this camp, and the attitude's good, and the Reds think this is the year with no expectations that they can rise above what people think. Will they? We'll see. That's what they're working on here in Sarasota, Florida with the Reds. I'm Scott Miller, CBSSports.com.
Scott, thank you so much. So do they have the stuff to make it to the playoffs for the first time in 13 years? Cincinnati won the first ever NL Central crown 1995, but haven't done it since. Reds fans are ready. Are you ready for the season? Track it all right here on CBSSports.com. I'm Lauren Shahadi. We'll talk soon.